Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've had a driver's license for almost 35 years and I've always kept in my vehicles jumper cables and a small tool bag, flashlights, and just stuff that you need for roadside emergencies or for car breakdowns. And for probably 30 years or so, I just always kept just normal jumper cables in my cars. These are bulky, they're heavy. If you have a dead battery, you have to have a second vehicle, to give you a jump. And so a few years ago, I switched to this style, and just size comparison, it's so much smaller. This will start up to V8s, no problem at all. And you can get dozens of jumps out of this. Plus they're flashlights and battery banks as well. But anybody who's my age or older will probably recognize this style of tanks, but we all just kept them in our cars. It's a 5-gallon tank. They're kind of awkward. They're kind of heavy. They're pretty large, take up a lot of space. But it was a way that, if you had a flat tire, you were able to basically provide some air to yourself. So I had a company reach out to me and ask if I would take a look at their portable tire inflator and provide some feedback. So this is coming from Avapow, and the model is the AP18. And kind of like this jump starter, this is more than just a tire inflator. It's also a portable battery bank and a flashlight. So stick around if you want to learn about this AP18. We'll do a real quick unboxing. We'll go over all the features and specifications of it. We'll put it to use on a lot of different things, and then I'll give some thoughts on it. Their packaging seems to be really well done. A little bit of information right there. We can see that we have a max that we can go up to is 150 psi. But let's get this wrap off and then we'll see what all comes in this box. This did come from Amazon. Alright, so it looks like we have a bag here. Nothing else in the box. Kind of like semi-rigid, semi-hard bag. Like a carry handle. And the same like blue and black colors that the box had. So looks like we have a divider here. We're going to have the tire inflator here. And it is wrapped again, so we'll have to remove that. And then we have a bunch of our accessories up here. So it looks like some maybe raft type of nozzles, and then any type of sports balls or whatever there. Not exactly sure what that one is right there yet. We have a charging cable. This is type C to C. This is the actual hose. I'll get you guys a measurement on that length in a bit. And the manual. That appears to be everything. I won't show you guys the whole manual, but it does say that thing right there is a bicycle pump nozzle. But as you can see, the manual does look like it's really well done. So let's get into this AP18 and see what it's all about here. I brought this 5-gallon tank inside just to try to give you guys a size comparison. This thing is just massive compared to this, and this will be able to do just so much more than what these old style ones can. And as far as the size, we're looking at a length of 6.83 inches, a width of 2.87 inches, and a thickness of 1.96 inches. We are looking at a total weight of 19.7 ounces. We'll add the air hose on top of that and see what we get. Almost 22 ounces total. So a little more technical stuff on it. You can see it's 7.4 volts. What they have done, they've taken two 21700 batteries and basically stacked them in here, and that's how you're going to get your 29.6 watt hours, which is 8,000 milliamp hours. If this were completely dead, it's going to take about an hour and a half to charge it back up. And like I mentioned earlier, it has type C charging, and that's an input and output. So we should be able to charge our cell phones and devices like that off of this. And the working pressure range is you can go all the way down to 3 psi and all the way up to 150. Just kind of looking things over. We're going to have a large LCD display. All of our controls are going to be here. Have a little bit of venting on the sides. A little more around the top here. This is where we're going to put the air hose or the different nozzles. I'd almost always recommend using the air hose, but technically you can take these and just screw that directly into that if you want to do it this way. But I would prefer having the hose on there. And then we have the light up top there. So let's power this on and then go over the display. Press and hold for just a few seconds. You can see this display is huge. So we're going to have our battery level indicator up there. Basically, they're like 25% increments. This is our current PSI, and then this is what it's set for. Right now we're on the bicycle level. If we want to switch that, we basically just press this here. Those will be for any type of like sports balls or whatever. This is going to be a custom one, car, and then kind of like a motorcycle or scooters or whatever, and then back through. Now, even though these are preset, you can switch any of that PSI that you want to. And then the preset you can set for basically anything. You know, if your trailer tires, you know, if they take 50 PSI, let's just say, well, if you set this to 50, every time you turn it on, it'll be at your 50 for you. So let's say I go through the different ones now, car, motorcycle. When I go back here, I'm going to be at my 50. And again, you can change any of these that you want though. Like if my car takes 33, I can just switch that to 33. The display does have like a power saving feature where after maybe like 30 seconds or a minute, it will dim down. And then if it's not being used at all, the device will shut itself off. Did you see it just dim right there? I'm not sure if it does that while it's in use. We'll have to check that out to see if the display still will dim down like that. If I continue to talk though, we will see this thing power itself off here in another probably 5 seconds. Right there it was. Quickly show you guys the light. Just basically one tap here will turn this light on. Decently bright light. And then another tap of it is going to give us like a steady flash. Another tap looks to be SOS. And a fourth tap turns it off. What I'm going to do is turn the light on and see if that display dims down at all. So yeah, even with the light on, the display does shut off, but we have this little like flashlight icon up there, but the light is still on. Again, I don't think it shuts off when it's actually inflating because it shows you the current PSI and then what you have it set at and stuff like that, but we'll make sure of that. But if you're in this stage right here, you can just push any of these buttons and it will turn it back on. You don't have to do the power button. Let's quickly check out the power bank feature on this. So there's a little rubber cover over that. I'll have to look into the IPX waterproof rating on this. I'm not sure what it is yet. Let's see if I can find that for you guys. But we're going to plug that in. I'm not sure if we have to turn it on or not because it did not start charging yet. So let's turn it on and see. There it goes. So yeah, you do have to turn the device on. I'll let this go. I'm at 54% right now. I'll let this go for like 5 minutes and see what we get up to. And just like when using the flashlight, this did basically shut off. And now it shows that we have like the USB-C output. All right, I've had that go for about 5 minutes. and we are up to 63% and it is still charging. So I looked through the manual, I looked on Avapow's website and on Amazon, and I cannot find an IPX waterproof rating anywhere. With having these open vents and the circuitry that's in there, the fans and stuff like that, I'd probably not recommend using this in the rain. A couple other quick things before we get into using it. If you're in Europe and you don't use PSI, you can push this mode button and hold it, and it will switch to the BAR system or to the KPA. And for those of you wondering, that hose length is almost 20 inches. So I think what I'm going to do next is actually get the inflator itself fully charged up before we start using it. Alright guys, we'll use the AP18 to pump up a few different things here. I do have a couple other gauges down here to make sure that whatever PSI we set it at is what the AP18 stops at. Get the hose screwed into the inflator and we will be ready to get started. I'm going to start here with this basketball. It's not completely flat, but it's mostly flat. It's basically not even reading any type of pressure at all. We'll put about 9 pounds in this. So the display may be kind of hard to see out here, but I do have it set at 9. We're going to start it up here and kind of see how long this takes. It's not very loud at all. I assume with the ball it should take probably less than 20 seconds, maybe 30 at the most. So it's actually showing our poundage right now. We're at 4 PSI. 4.5, 5. We're at 8 now. We'll see if it stops at 9. And it stopped like it's supposed to. And it feels like it's completely firm now. Let's see what we get with this gauge here. And it looks like it is reading right around 9 PSI. Up next, I'm going to do a bike tire. It's completely flat, not registering any PSI at all. I'm going to take this up to 50 PSI. I will probably do a time lapse on this part and let you guys know how long it actually takes. Alright guys, it just stopped. It was about 1.5 minutes total. And let's check it with the regular gauge and see if we get close to 50. And yeah, I'm about 48 or so. And I may have lost a little bit when I unplugged it. Alright, up next, I'm going to air down one of my Jeep tires here. It's sitting at about 37 PSI right now. I'm going to go down to about 20 and see how long it takes to get it back up to 37. I've also left the valve stem kind of toward the top up here to see if that hose will reach it. Alright, I let most of the air out of it. Hopefully you guys can tell that I pretty much have a flat tire here now. And we are sitting at right about 20 pounds, 21 pounds. It's probably really hard to see that, but we're sitting at 20.5 PSI and I have it set at 37. See how long it takes. So it's still going obviously right now. We're at about 4 minutes and we're just over 30 PSI. So probably got another minute or 2 to go. Alright guys, it has stopped. It's been just over 6 minutes. I'm going to confirm with the other gauge that it is at 37 PSI. Show you guys what that light looks like on that AP18. And there it is in its flashing mode. And finally, here is the SOS. So I was able to inflate a basketball, 2 bike tires, that 33-inch Jeep tire, and I messed around with the light for quite a bit, and we still have 3 bars left on the battery percentage. So overall, I really like this little inflator. It seems to be well built, pretty durable. It's very compact and lightweight. You know, you can store it easily. You could put it in the glove compartment of your car or the center console. Heck, you could store it like under a seat or in the trunk, you know, like the bed of your truck, whatever. Like, it's so small, you can put it just about anywhere. It has this huge screen. It's very easy to use and it works really well. It seems to have pretty good battery life. In the very unlikely event that you had 4 mostly flat tires at the exact same time, I think this could still inflate all 4 of them. And speaking of the battery, I like that it is a portable power bank, so you can charge cell phones and tablets and stuff like that. I like that you can set your desired PSI, and once it reaches that, it does shut off automatically, and it does seem to be reasonably accurate. I like that it has this little light on it, you know, to kind of help you see what you're doing in the middle of the night, or to warn other motorists that you're kind of stranded there. Few things I think could be improved upon. I feel like the screen does time out a little bit too fast. I would like that to stay on, you know, maybe like 2 minutes or 3 minutes or something. Once it reaches its desired PSI, it shuts off automatically, so you have to turn it back on if you're going to the next tire or anything like that. But even if you're not using it, it shuts down pretty quick. I feel like this hose could be just a touch longer. Again, my Jeep tires are really tall, and if my valve stem happened to be at the very top, this might have a hard time reaching it. Now, I understand if your tire's flat, it's actually going to make it lower down to the ground, but I still think this could be just a touch longer. And I will say that if you have large tires, be prepared for it to take it a little while. It will inflate them, but it took well over 6 minutes for me to go from 20 PSI up to 37 on my Jeep. You know, obviously something like this is great to keep in your car, or if you haul a trailer or a camper, you know, anything like that. You could also store this underneath the seat of a motorcycle. I also think these would be great for coaches, whether it's basketball or football or soccer, volleyball, whatever it might be, where you have a lot of balls that you need to keep, at a certain PSI all the time. This will be very handy to keep with you. Also good to keep like in a camping tote, whether it be for like air mattresses or rafts or something like that. Very good for that. So the AP18 is available on Amazon, and at the time of me making this video, these are coming in at $47.49, which I believe is a fantastic price on it. Highly recommend getting one. And I will leave that Amazon link down in the video description in case you guys want to find out more information on it or to pick one up. But alright guys, if you found the video helpful or informative in any way, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.